Hey Newlife Cooly, welcome to another week of Couched. We are so excited to change things up a little bit for the next few weeks and actually have a chat to some of the members of our Newlife Church family. We're going to ask them a few funny questions about their walk with Jesus as well, and actually get to know some of their stories. So stay tuned as we journey over the next few weeks, doing things a little differently. And thank you so much for watching, and look forward to seeing you again next week.
My name's Mike. Trish and I have been attending Newlife for 12 and a half years now. And we've been in Australia for 32 years, on the Gold Coast for 16 years.
So my name's Hennessy, I'm 21 and I live on the Gold Coast. I have one brother, one sister. I just moved out of home this year.
I'm Beck. I'm 37. I'm a wife. I know, old, getting very old. Am I 37? Yeah. Sorry, I just had a birthday.
Hi, I'm David Skembry, and I have 3 sisters, 2 stepsisters, two stepbrothers and a stepsister.
I have 2 kids, a 7-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl, and that's me.
My go-to is a lactose-free vanilla latte. Write that down. It's quite delicious.
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think when I first came, there was people my age and other families and other mums, and I love the worship, the style of music. I love music, so that's a big thing for me. But I think what kept me there was the community, the people. I love my small group. I love hanging out with people on Sundays and during the week, but also the teaching. It's biblical, and just the pastors. I just think everything, the whole package.
And we love Newlife too, because it's a church that is being what a church should be. It's doing what a church should be doing. And that's why I really wanted to be a part of that.
I really like the inclusivity. Is that a word?
Yeah.
The inclusion. I think it's just cool, like the way that people welcome new people, and the way that it's just like we're a family. Yeah.
It's cool.
First came to the church with this guy I met, and he was like quite odd, and I thought to myself, he's quite strange. And then within the first few weeks, no comment. And within the first few weeks of working there, of coming to the church, I noticed that where I think in a lot of places, in a lot of communities, this person would have been either tolerated or pushed aside. In Newlife, it was like seen as, heck yeah, we can't wait to get to know this person. And everyone just made all this effort to get on with them. And it wasn't fake or forced or pity. It was like love. And I remember at that point, I was like, this is the community I want to be in. This is the community that says, I want to hang with people who maybe aren't culturally number one. I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of Newlife.
Basically, every time I get on stage, it's kind of awkward.
We have an enormous allergic reaction, an anaphylactic reaction at church, which was not fun. I remember sitting in the dark in the sermon, and I felt a bit itchy, and then my husband looked at me and was like, "Oh my goodness, are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he's like, "You're all swollen."
I joined for a girl. I went there for a girl and
made it home and then needed an ambulance.
One that comes to mind, when we first started attending church back in the UK, a dear little old lady came up to us and where we were sitting and said, "Excuse me, but you're sitting in my seat."
So how did you handle that?
We moved.
Fair call.
September 2011. I was in grade 12 and I was dragged to one of those combined youth events. Like my mum had recently, within a few years, become a Christian again, and she was trying to push it on me and I could not deal. I hated it. I would get in the car after school and she'd be playing Christian music and I would physically get angry. I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is awful, turn it off.
I was 38 years old when I met Jesus, and I've now been following him for 38 years.
Youth, and I was standing there during worship, before the message, before anything else had happened, and I was like, this is weird. I was expecting some sort of Catholicism, I'm not sure. I was expecting something really dry. 38
years BC and 38 years AD, and I know which is the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked around and just saw like hundreds of young people, and there was so much like authenticity, sincerity in their faces. They just meant what was happening so much in worship. And I was like, well, if these people are convinced, what if? And I just turned to God in that moment and was like, God, if you're real, like I'm here, like let's chat.
Yeah, so I kind of grew up in church, so I always knew like God was real and stuff. But like I guess it was in grade 12 when I really decided like that Jesus was real and like everything he did for me. Yeah.
It was 6.5 years ago. It was, so my little boy was 6 months old. I would have said that I was an atheist. I didn't believe in any kind of spiritual being. I didn't believe that there was a God. Very science. I was a nurse and a paramedic, and I didn't believe that science and God could go together. And then when my little boy was first born, a friend of mine whose little boy was supposed to be born actually on the same day, her little boy was born stillborn. And it was actually the process of working through that with her that God revealed himself to me.
Wow.
Yeah, I think for me, it wasn't just like a big moment. I mean, I'm sure that's happened, but I think the main thing is like all the little times where I've seen God and I've seen him move in my life and the people around me. Yeah, just like seeing my journey and like looking back at where I've come from and how much I've changed. And
wow.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't been a moment, it's been an era, because really since I started following Jesus, he's provided so much. I praise God every day for all that he has provided these past 38 years. It has just been beyond my wildest dreams and imagination.
Wow.
How God has brought us on this amazing adventure. And and he just keeps on giving.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Keeps on providing.
This has been a really big deal for me in my life. I had quite a difficult upbringing. I didn't have a very nice dad, and I really disliked myself. I grew up feeling like I didn't fit anywhere. I felt like I was ugly. I just didn't like myself. And it was actually my daughter, anyone who knows my daughter, she is my mini-me. Like, she is my identical twin. You look at photos of me when I was a kid and you can't tell whether it's her or me. We're exactly the same. And that sounds cute, but when you hate yourself, that's really hard. And I used to look at her and think she was going to dislike herself and she was going to hate herself. And that's what I projected on her. And I remember one night when she was only about 2, and I remember sitting feeding her, And I was looking at her thinking, I'm so sorry that I think these things about you. You're beautiful. You are beautiful. I love you. You are beautiful. You are perfect. And I clearly remember God saying to me, if that's how you see her, then how do you think I see you? That's exactly how I see you. She's perfect and you're perfect. And I love you just the way you are. And I always have. And it was just this moment where God really showed me my worth through Jesus.
I have two. The first one is, why are there mosquitoes? And the second one is, why aren't I married yet?
You know, these questions, it's like, why doesn't God just come down and show his face to us and just like, you know, hi, grand reveal, I'm God, believe in me. Especially when you're seeking or pursuing or chasing. I have a lot of friends who've been like, man, I just want to experience or know God. It's so hard to have faith without just some sort of feedback. And I'd probably be like, hey, either what did I miss? What was happening in that moment that I couldn't see? Or like, why isn't that the way you operate? It's probably the biggest question I'd love to know.
Just don't get why kids have to suffer. You know, I know I know all the answers that, you know, that I read in the Bible, you know, but I just don't get it.
That he's all good.
Almost just like, yes, he's that good. Like, I think like 90% of my Christian walk has been like, okay, he's good, but like, you know, I know he's not that good. And then slowly, oh, he is that good, but he can't be that good. And it's been like this walk of like, man, God, just like, would you just shut up and trust me? And I'm like, probably not, but I'm working on it. Like, so if I could go back in time, I'd be like, David, like, bro, just trust him. He is that good. He has got you. He does love you that much.
And I just love that verse in Hebrews 11:6, that those who earnestly seek God, what does it say? They must believe that he exists. That's a good start.
Mm.
And that he rewards those who earnestly seek him.
Mm.
Yeah, there's so much junk out there. People need to hear the truth.
Mine would be that, like, it's okay. Like, it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter what you think of yourself, and it doesn't matter like how, if you've stuffed up or if you think you're not good enough. Like, God still loves you so much. Like, he knows your name, he knows who you are, and you've got such an amazing place in his heart.
The opposite of everything that is truth. And I think just the truth that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are a 10 out of 10 in God's eyes, and that he loves you, and that you're perfect in his sight, and that nothing the world tells you can change that. And not even how you think of yourself changes that.
With Coolangatta, it was like, God, should I go to Coolangatta? And every time I just felt like such a positive, like such a sense of like, yes. And I was like, okay, could just be an emotion. I'll keep praying for a little while longer, see if that stays up. And yeah, I just started to engage conversation, start seeking it as a genuine option, chatting to Scott about it. And I think when I chatted to Scott about it and he shared, I said to him, I was like, what is the mission of Cooly? And his first response was, oh, it's the same as the mission of Rabina. And I was like, great, of course it is. But what like specific in Coolangatta, unique to Coolangatta, is the vision of planning a church there. And he just shared his heart to see the lost get saved, to see a community grow in love with God. And I was like, man, to be a part of that from the beginning, like I'm so excited. Like my heart was just so turned by that. And I was like, I just don't want to miss out on just being a part of witnessing that kind of experience. So yeah,
I prayed about it, and I just felt peace around it. But I like the idea of, like, I love working in kids ministry, and I love the idea of being able to, for God to use me in that space. and they do such an incredible job. And I was a part of the team up at Ravenna, and they do such an incredible job up there. I just thought to be down here and to be used down here and to have a new space and a new community. And I know there's a lot of communities around here and schools, and I just thought it was a great place to be in kids ministry and reach out to the community and families. Just felt right. I think God just gave me instant peace over it. There was no question.
To do something new and to share the gospel. Yeah.
And I was like, I would actually love to be part of a church planting team and have like that new, really tight-knit family that you are growing something together. You're taking something from one place and making it so much bigger and so much more amazing.
I really would like to be able to find out how I can connect with other people and share the good news about Jesus with them. I've got so much to share with them.
A small kind of community that like the whole church is your family, which is sometimes a bit hard to do in a bigger church, but just like, yeah, I just wanted to be part of whatever God's doing and chase that.